Water-filled electrical conduits pose a significant electrical hazard. This occurs when conduits embedded in the false slab become filled with water, causing the current-carrying conductors within them to be submerged. This situation can lead to several serious consequences. Firstly, there is an electrical shock risk to personnel in the area. Water is a conductor of electricity, and when electrical components are submerged, the risk of electrical shock significantly increases. Secondly, equipment damage and potential failure can occur. The water can corrode and damage the electrical conductors and equipment, leading to malfunction and failure. Thirdly, a fire hazard can arise due to damaged or deteriorated conductors. The water can cause the insulation on the conductors to break down, leading to short circuits and potentially fires. Fourthly, there can be a disruption of electrical services. The water damage can cause electrical outages and disrupt the supply of power. To address this issue, replacing all conduits and wiring is the proposed solution. Routing the new conduits and wires overhead will prevent future water ingress. This approach ensures that the electrical system is protected from water damage. In addition to replacing the conduits and wiring, there are several additional considerations. Firstly, the cause of the water-filled conduit should be investigated and addressed to prevent future occurrences. It is important to determine how the water is entering the conduits and take steps to prevent it from happening again. Secondly, the electrical panels and switchboard rooms should be thoroughly inspected for water damage and necessary repairs performed. Water can damage electrical panels and switchboards, so it is essential to inspect them carefully and make any necessary repairs. Thirdly, proper grounding and bonding should be ensured to minimize the risk of electrical shock. Grounding and bonding provide a path for electrical current to flow safely to the ground, reducing the risk of electrical shock. Fourthly, the area should be monitored for any signs of continued water intrusion to ensure the safety of personnel and equipment. Regular monitoring can help detect any new water leaks or intrusion and allow for prompt action to prevent further damage or hazards. In summary, water-filled electrical conduits and submerged conductors create a dangerous electrical hazard. Replacing the conduits and wiring, routing them overhead, and addressing the cause of the water intrusion are crucial steps to ensure the safety of personnel and equipment. Regular inspections and monitoring are also essential to prevent future problems. Understanding the National Electrical Code or NEC requirements is also important when dealing with such issues. The NEC provides guidelines for the safe installation and maintenance of electrical systems. Article 307 addresses raceways exposed to different temperatures. It states that where portions of an interior raceway system are exposed to different temperatures, such as where portions are run in concealed spaces and others are exposed to condensation, shall be prevented. The NEC also addresses the use of conductors in wet locations. Section 310. 10 delineates conductor applications and installations. It specifies that conductors installed in wet locations shall be listed for use in wet locations. These conductors are identified by the suffix W in their designation. Examples include THW, XHHW, and other types specifically designed to withstand wet environments. Article 314 covers outlet boxes, conduit bodies, and handheld enclosures for use in wet locations. Section 314. 15 provides that in wet locations boxes, conduit bodies, and fittings shall be identified for use in wet locations. This typically involves the use of watertight or rain-tight enclosures to prevent water from entering and damaging the electrical connections. Article 392 addresses cable trays, which are often used to support and route electrical cables. Section 392. 3 provides that cable trays and associated hardware shall be identified for the intended use and shall be designed and installed so that cable will not be damaged. In wet locations, cable trays must be made of corrosion-resistant materials or have a corrosion-resistant coating. Article 430 covers motors, motor circuits, and controllers. Section 430. 11 provides that motors and associated equipment installed in wet locations shall be suitable for wet locations. This means that the motors and equipment must be designed and constructed to prevent water from entering and damaging the electrical components. Article 500 and its related articles address hazardous locations, which include areas where flammable gases, vapors, or dust may be present. Section 500.8 provides that electrical equipment installed in hazardous locations shall be listed and labeled for the specific hazardous location. In wet locations within hazardous areas, equipment must be suitable for both the hazardous environment and the wet conditions. Furthermore, Article 547 provides requirements for agricultural buildings. Section 547.5 provides that electrical equipment installed in agricultural buildings shall be suitable for the environment. In wet locations, the equipment must be designed to withstand the corrosive effects of moisture, dust, and agricultural chemicals. When selecting conductors for wet locations, several types are suitable, depending on the specific application and requirements. THW conductors are general-purpose building wire with moisture and heat-resistant thermoplastic insulation. They are suitable for use in wet and dry locations, but the temperature rating is limited to 75 degrees Celsius. THWN conductors are similar to THW, but they also have a nylon jacket that provides additional protection against moisture, oil, and chemicals. They are suitable for use in wet and dry locations and have a temperature rating of 75 degrees Celsius. XHHW conductors have cross-linked polyethylene insulation, which provides excellent moisture and heat resistance. They are suitable for use in wet and dry locations and have a higher temperature rating of 90 degrees Celsius. RHW conductors have rubber insulation and are suitable for use in wet locations. However, they are not as commonly used as THW, THWN, and XHHW conductors due to their low temperature rating and less durable insulation. UF cable is underground feeder cable, which is designed for direct burial in the ground. It is suitable for use in wet locations, but it is not typically used inside conduits. When installing electrical equipment in wet locations, it is important to use appropriate wiring methods to protect the conductors and equipment from moisture. Some common wiring methods for wet locations include firstly, using liquid-tight flexible metal conduit or LFMC. LFMC is a flexible metal conduit with a liquid-tight jacket that protects the conductors from moisture. It is commonly used for connecting equipment in wet locations. Secondly, using rigid metal conduit or RMC. RMC is a heavy-walled metal conduit that provides excellent protection against physical damage and moisture. It is suitable for use in wet locations, but it can be more difficult to install than LFMC. Thirdly, using electrical metallic tubing or EMT with watertight fittings. EMT is a thin-walled metal conduit that is commonly used for general-purpose wiring. However, it can be used in wet locations if watertight fittings are used to protect the conductors from moisture. In addition to using appropriate wiring methods, it is also important to use watertight boxes, conduit bodies, and fittings in wet locations. These enclosures are designed to prevent water from entering and damaging the electrical connections. Watertight boxes typically have gaskets or O-rings that seal the enclosure and prevent water from entering. Conduit bodies are used to make bends and changes in direction in conduit runs. Watertight conduit bodies have threaded connections and gaskets that prevent water from entering. Fittings are used to connect conduit to boxes and equipment. Watertight fittings have threaded connections and gaskets that provide a watertight seal. Proper grounding and bonding are essential for electrical safety, especially in wet locations. Grounding provides a path for electrical current to flow safely to the ground, reducing the risk of electrical shock. Bonding connects all metal parts of the electrical system together, creating a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source. In wet locations, it is important to use grounding and bonding methods that are suitable for the environment. Some common grounding and bonding methods for wet locations include firstly, using a grounding electrode conductor or GEC made of copper. The GEC connects the electrical system to a grounding electrode, such as a ground rod or water pipe. In wet locations, it is important to use a GEC that is made of copper to resist corrosion. Secondly, using bonding jumpers made of copper. Bonding jumpers are used to connect metal parts of the electrical system together. In wet locations, it is important to use bonding jumpers that are made of copper to resist corrosion. Thirdly, using stainless steel hardware for grounding and bonding connections. Stainless steel is a corrosion-resistant material that is suitable for use in wet locations. It is important to use stainless steel hardware for all grounding and bonding connections to ensure that the connections remain intact and effective. Regular inspections and maintenance are essential to ensure the continued safety of electrical systems in wet locations. Inspections should be performed periodically to identify any signs of water damage, corrosion, or other problems. Maintenance should be performed as needed to repair any damage and prevent future problems. During inspections, pay attention to the following. Firstly, check for signs of water intrusion. Look for water stains, corrosion, or other signs that water is entering the electrical system. Secondly, inspect conductors and insulation. Look for damaged or deteriorated conductors or insulation. Thirdly, examine boxes, conduit bodies, and fittings. Check for cracks, corrosion, or other damage. Fourthly, verify grounding and bonding connections. Ensure that all grounding and bonding connections are intact and secure. Maintenance tasks may include, firstly, repairing or replacing damaged conductors or insulation. Secondly, replacing corroded or damaged boxes, conduit bodies, and fittings. Thirdly, tightening loose grounding and bonding connections. Fourthly, applying corrosion-resistant coatings to protect metal parts from moisture. Finally, testing the electrical system to ensure that it is functioning properly. Addressing the root cause of water intrusion is critical to preventing future problems. Identifying the source of the water and taking steps to eliminate it is essential for maintaining a safe and reliable electrical system. Potential sources of water intrusion include, firstly, leaky roofs or walls. Repair any leaks in the roof or walls to prevent water from entering the building. Secondly, condensation. Install ventilation or dehumidification systems to reduce condensation. Thirdly, flooding. Implement flood control measures to prevent water from entering the building during floods. Fourthly, underground water sources. Install drainage systems to divert water away from the building. By taking these steps, the risk of water intrusion can be significantly reduced, and the safety and reliability of the electrical system can be improved. Consider the specific environment when selecting and installing electrical equipment. Factors such as temperature, humidity, and the presence of corrosive substances can affect the performance and lifespan of electrical equipment. Choose equipment that is specifically designed for the environment in which it will be used. For example, in areas with high humidity, use equipment with moisture-resistant coatings. In areas with corrosive substances, use equipment made of corrosion-resistant materials. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions when installing and maintaining electrical equipment. The manufacturer's instructions provide important information about the proper installation and maintenance of the equipment. Failure to follow these instructions can lead to equipment failure, electrical hazards, and other problems. Keep accurate records of all electrical work, including inspections, maintenance, and repairs. These records can be used to track the performance of the electrical system and identify any potential problems. They can also be helpful in the event of an electrical accident or incident. Ensure that all electrical work is performed by qualified and licensed electricians. Qualified electricians have the knowledge and experience to perform electrical work safely and correctly. Using unqualified individuals can lead to dangerous and potentially fatal consequences. Educate personnel about electrical safety and the hazards of working with electricity. Provide training on how to identify and avoid electrical hazards. Post warning signs in areas where electrical hazards exist. By educating personnel, the risk of electrical accidents can be significantly reduced. Review electrical safety procedures regularly and update them as needed. Electrical safety procedures should be reviewed and updated on a regular basis to ensure that they are effective and up to date. This is especially important in wet locations where the risk of electrical shock is increased. By following these guidelines, you can help to ensure the safety of personnel and equipment in wet locations. Remember that electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By working together, the risk of electrical accidents can be minimized. It is also essential to be aware of the specific regulations and codes that apply to electrical installations in wet locations. These regulations and codes are designed to ensure the safety of people and property. Consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer to ensure that your electrical installations comply with all applicable regulations and codes. Staying informed about the latest electrical safety standards is also important. Electrical safety standards are constantly evolving to reflect new technologies and best practices. By staying informed, you can ensure that your electrical systems are safe and up to date. Regular training and refresher courses for electricians and other personnel who work with electricity are essential. These courses can help to reinforce safe work practices and keep personnel up to date on the latest electrical safety standards. A comprehensive electrical safety program should include regular inspections, maintenance, training, and adherence to all applicable regulations and codes. By implementing a comprehensive program, you can create a safe and reliable electrical environment for your personnel and equipment. Finally, remember that electrical safety is an ongoing process. It requires constant vigilance and attention to detail. By making electrical safety a priority, you can help to prevent accidents and create a safer workplace for everyone.